Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and I've got another how to build video for you. What we've been doing recently, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it, we've been doing sort of a faction building thing where I've been kind of building new small groups and factions in For Honor. We started with the Northern Guardians mercenary band, which is basically led by a Viking who believes in the traditional ways of Heathmore and wants to protect their traditional values and what they believe in, and basically wants to kick out the Wulin and the Outlanders. And we visited some of those characters that joined him in that. We looked at the Sadahara clan, which is based on this daimyo who wants to restore his family name and, has revolutionary ideas about, helping the Mire expand and grow and revolutionize. And we've seen some of them. Now we're going to take a look at another one. And this one isn't specifically faction based. Like, I know some of you are like, hey, when are we going to get a Wulin or a Night one? And this one started kind of as a Night one, but then Lark and I thought about it and we said, no. This one isn't entirely Night based. It was founded in Ashfeld by a certain duo, but it is not entirely Night based. We took a little bit from almost every faction here. So I want to introduce you to the Order of the Silver Cross. The Order of the Silver Cross. So here was the idea that we had. So basically, y'all remember, this was years ago. Y'all might not remember this, but years ago during the Halloween events of For Honor, we had these things called Fangs of the Otherworld or Feasts of the Otherworld, where the whole thing was, everything was Halloween based. You had werewolf emotes and effects, you had vampire effects and emotes, you had ghost stuff, you had creepy, spooky skeleton stuff. The whole point was it was meant to be kind of scary, and the idea was like there was this other world that was pouring out its monsters and scary stuff into Heathmore. And I thought, okay, I know it's supposed to be a joke event, but what if instead of it being a joke event, this actually happened? And after the Fangs of the Otherworld event happened, we now have monsters and creepy, kooky stuff in Heathmore, and we now need an order, like a specific group, kind of like the Inquisition, meant to fight it. And that's where we get the Order of the Silver Cross. The Order of the Silver Cross's primary goal is to hunt down and exterminate the dangerous, lethal, supernatural threats to Heathmore to make sure that they don't hurt anybody. And so today we're going to take a look at some of the more powerful members of the Order of the Silver Cross, particularly those who are monsters themselves, monsters or individuals who have become monsters that now use their monstrous nature to protect others. That's why they're such special members of the Order of the Silver Cross. So we're going to take a look at those today. Now, I do want to go ahead and tell you right now, there are two that I've already made how to build videos for. The first one is Mara the Reaper. She is a Reaper. She is an angel of death. She is the Warden build. If you want to know how to build Mara, take a look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen right now, or look down in the description. I've already made a how to build video on her, and she really hasn't changed at all since I made that. So if you want to make Mara for yourself, definitely do so. She is she really came out excellent. I think she's one of my favorite Warden builds. She's got a really cool effect that brings out that Reaper nature in her. I think it looks so solid. So definitely, if you want to try to build Mara yourself, please do so. But again, that video has already been made, so we won't go into it here. The second one is a video I've already made as well, but Rachel the Angel. Now, Lark and I debated this idea. Should she be an actual angel or just a saint given holy power? And our final conclusion was you can go either way you want on that. It works either way, honestly. And she's largely remained the same too. We've built a video for her. Take a look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen now or down in the description to see her how to build video. The only thing we might have changed for her is one of the executions. Her executions are Clarent, Water Summoner, because it's like baptism, Revenant Slayer, which is the Vampire Slayer one, and Solar Flare. So if you have Solar Flare on your Black Prior, which came from the Destiny event, you're going to want to get that. If you do not have Solar Flare, then you can replace it with, hold on, I'll get it for you. There was another one. You can have Blades of the Vanguards, which is a pretty good one. And you can also use you could do a no enemies mega super combo punch. There was one I really liked. I'm trying to, oh yeah, Ramiel's Ascendancy. You can do that one too. That was the one I was looking for. All those would look very well. So what we've got so far is an Angel of Death and a holy saint or angel, if you will. So both of those have already been made. Again, go check out their videos to know how to build them if you want to add them, but we're not going to focus on them today. Those are just the two founding members. Basically, my idea is that if they are both angels, they basically looked at the issue with the Fangs of the Otherworld, like the dimensional rift that allowed these monsters to pour in, and they're the ones who said, we need to come to the Order of the Silver Cross and help found it and get it ready to deal with these threats. Now we're going to take a look at the members who are part of that. So y'all ready? Let's take a look at them. We're going to start with one of my favorites, and y'all have seen me play him a few times now. Here he is. This is Georgian. Now, if you can't tell, the name is a reference to St. George the Dragon Slayer. If you guys don't know that story, basically it's the classic knight versus dragon story. St. George was this knight who heard about a princess who was captured by a dragon, went out and slayed the dragon. Pretty cool story. Go look it up. That's a very minor version of it, but that was where the name came from. The whole story behind this guy, though, the whole setup behind this guy is that Georgian was actually a normal knight, just this average, ordinary knight, nothing too crazy about him, but he began to see these threats, these supernatural threats coming, and he wanted to find a way to fight back. He wanted to find a way to protect his people, protect his family, protect his wife. He cares about them. He wants to do what he needs to do, and he learns about where Yin Chen hid the chalice of immortality. Remember that chalice that was used to give immortality to Ramiel? He wants to find this chalice because he thinks maybe he can drink from it and he can rebuild his pact with the wyverns. What he doesn't know is the wyverns are kind of already dead, and just drinking from the chalice isn't going to fix that. So Georgios travels out and finds the chalice, and he decides to drink it. He just drains the whole chalice right there to basically try to contact the wyverns and make a pact. But the chalice over time has been corrupted, so instead of it making a pact with the wyverns, it grants him immortality, but now it has given him the traits of the dragons themselves. The blood has become a part of him, and now he has become an ebony dragon himself, and we kind of show that in who he is. So he is Georgian, the Dragon Slayer. And so I decided to give him kind of these dragon-like traits, and now I will teach you how to build Georgian yourself. And if you want to know how to spell Georgian's name, it's Georgios. So Georgios, Georgian, whichever one you want to go with. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to build him. So first of all, you need the dignified veneer helm, dignified veneer chest, and dignified veneer arms. The studs in it remind me of kind of a scale pattern, and I thought about doing like spikes, maybe like sort of like this, but I thought, nah, I like these better because we can get a little bit more fancy with the embossings, which you'll see in a minute. For the weapon, we went with the archaic Asus axe, archaic Asus shaft, and archaic Asus spike, because not only does it match the color of the armor very well, but it looks like something's made of silver. And remember, this is the Order of the Silver Cross. They use silver as a weapon to fight the unholy monsters. So we wanted something that was very silver based. So a lot of these weapons that you're going to see are either silver based or have a connection to monster slaying. So let's take a look at the rest. So that's how you build them. Got that. All right. For traits, it's not going to matter. Skin color, default, it's really not going to matter. Nothing's going to change there. For the head, nothing for paint pattern, nothing for symbol, but you want the Paisley 1 embossing, which you get at Reputation 3, level 20. The Paisley 1 embossing. Get that nice texture on the face. For the ornament, we went with the Crimson Crest ornament because, dragons have their crest, and we thought that would work. Now, we thought about possibly doing the spikes. The spikes work very well, too. But I don't know. The crest kind of stands out to me, so I thought that we would go with that. But if you'd rather do the spikes, I think that's totally valid. Don't bother with the Hydra's Virulence. Hydra's Virulence looks fine, I guess, and it connects to the dragon theme, but it looks a little funny on his head, so I wouldn't do that. So again, you want either the Crimson Crest or the chromed spikes. Either one will work just fine. For the right shoulder, no paint pattern, no symbol, but you want the Paisley 2 embossing. And the reason why is if you look underneath the pauldron on the bottom shoulder plate, you can see that it too has the Paisley 2 embossing. So we're just making it match. We're making that match. For the left shoulder, you're doing the exact same thing. Paisley 2, which you get at Reputation 18, level 20. For the material, tar. You want the tar material. No need for overrides. Everything's going tar. You want this gleaming, shiny black metal, okay? For the chest and back, no paint pattern, no symbol, but you want the Paisley 2 embossing again. So what I'm getting at here, guys, you need your Lawbringer at Reputation 18 level 20 to make this work. Am I right? I'm right. Okay, so make sure you got that. For the standard, okay, this is where things deviate. You want the Pentagon paint pattern, which you get at level 13. So just get your Lawbringer to level 13 and you'll have this. For the symbol, the Serpentine Umbrage 8, which you get from the Malignant Hydra Mask outfit. It has a sword going through a dragon's head, which I think is symbolic of a dragon slayer. So I thought that would work really well. And finally, for the colors, here it is, the Auric Discipline color pattern, which you get from the Malignant Hydra Mask outfit. So you do need that Hydra Mask outfit, and that will come into play later. So that is how you make Georgios look like this. Georgios will look like this, okay? Now, for the feats, I went with Harsh Judgment for feat number 1 because he's got the glare of a dragon. You know, he's furious, he's vengeful, he's going to come after you, and you're going to feel the fear of the dragon in you. Juggernaut because he's got the skin of a dragon. You know, he's going to walk through pain and frustration. Punyo Mortis and Ignis Ember because this dude's breathing fire. Am I right? This dude's breathing fire, and he's going to bring fire down on you. So I thought that worked too well. Executions. We want Backbreaker. Hands-on approach. No enemies. And Vis Morales. All right, so the reason I chose these, Backbreaker and Vis Morales are both very strong, very skilled usage of the Lawbringer abilities. Just that use of the poleaxe I thought was really good. But no enemies and hands-on approach show kind of that dragon strength and that dragon durability. So I thought that would work really well. That's why I use the dragon effect on hands-on approach and no enemies, but use a fire effect on Backbreaker and Vis Morales, because these are him using his basic Lawbringer skills. These are him tapping into some of that dragon power. So I thought that would work really well. For emotes, Glorious and Recognition. For combat, my liege, and you want some. Most of these are respectful, like Recognition and my liege, so he's still got that honor in him, but Glorious is him preparing for battle, just roaring to the heavens, and you want some, challenging his opponent. This guy is a dragon, you know, that's what it comes down to. For signature, Wyvern's Pact. He drank from the Chalice of Immortality. He has become a dragon, so this is basically a callback to what he drank from. And finally, for effects. For Idol, you want Theft of Fire because it's going to create that fire effect around you, like he is burning with the dragon's heat. Execution, you want Hell's Gate for Backbreaker and Vis Morales, but you want Hydra's Virulence for hands-on approach and no enemies. For free roam, Hydra's Virulence on all, and combat, Hydra's Virulence on all. And that is how you create Georgios the Dragon Slayer. Let me know what you think about Georgios, and let me know if you plan to build him in yours. I know that, you know, the black, edgy dragon Lawbringer is something that people have done before, but I really couldn't resist doing it here. Okay? All right, moving on to the next one. The next one. Here he is. All right. Say hello to Gudbrand the Fang. This is Gudbrand the Fang. So his story is basically like this. He knew about the Fangs of the Otherworld event, and he knew about these monsters coming out of nowhere to attack, and he ran out of his village to go and fight these monsters. Now, this guy was a pretty strong warrior in his own right. They called him the Fang even before he was attacked and turned into what he is now. People believe firmly that he could take on any threat. What happened, though, was he tried to take on a werewolf. And you can already guess where that ended up. Yeah, he got bitten and now he's a werewolf himself. But rather than give himself over to the curse of being a werewolf and a lycanthrope, he now tries to channel it in his own way. But he carries silver weapons on his person so that he can not only kill enemy werewolves, but also he can kill himself if he ever feels like he's losing control. So this guy is known as Gudbrand the Fang. So I'll teach you guys how to build Gudbrand. First, for the head, you need Storadr helm. You need the Storadr helm. I like this one because it's a very simple helm, and the gray beard to me reminds me of like a gray wolf coat, so I thought it worked well. Then you need the Raun chest. The Raun chest looks very clean, looks very nice, and it's got the fur pelt, like could be a werewolf fur pelt. And then the Raun arms. I like the way the arms match the chest, and they don't clash too much with the head, so I thought that would work really well. For the weapons, the demonic mirror blade. It's kind of got a silver sheen on the edges, which I thought would work well for our silver theme. The fabled Frauzogen hilt. Makes it look like more like an Ulfbert. And the Liavalt shield. The Liavalt shield. Okay? Okay, now you know how to make this guy look like this. Now let's talk about everything else. For the traits, default 1, skin color, I went with default, but yeah, you could go with light or secondary. I mean, it wouldn't make much of a difference. For the head, crushed column paint pattern, no symbol, the lichen torn embossing, which you get from the lichen illustrious outfit, so you'll want that. Oh, and since I didn't say it, crushed column you get automatically, so no problem getting that, okay? For the ornament, you want the bone crown, which you get from Loki's dream mythic outfit. You want that wolf crown going on. I think that looks really, really tight on him, okay? For the right shoulder, you want the cross paint pattern, which you get from level 15, so level up your warlord to level 15. And then you want the Viking paw symbol, which you get at level 1, so you should have this right away. Just slap it on there, it's gonna look really good, it's gonna look excellent. For the left arm, no paint pattern, no symbol, but you want the lichen torn embossing. Now here's the thing, I don't normally put anything on the shields because I think the shields look fine as they are, but in this one I made an exception because it's almost like the fierce power of the wolf is trying to force its way out of the shield, and it's symbolic of what's going on with Gudbrand. Like, it's like the wolf inside of him wants to burst out, and so that shield is kind of symbolic of what he's defending against and holding back. I thought that would work really well. For the material, dark brown on everything, no overrides, just dark brown. I don't think you need any overrides for this. It looks good, okay? For the chest and back, you want the Shallow Valley paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 5, level 6. No symbol. The embossing, you again want the lichen torn embossing from the lichen illustrious outfit. For the standard, you want the Rend 1 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 1, level 4. No symbol. And the Celtic Weave 2 embossing, which you get at Reputation 22, level 20. Now, if you don't have that, don't worry. It's not a huge deal. You can go without an embossing if you want. It'll still look fine. But I try to put that embossing on there, okay? All right. The colors. The color scheme is Masterful Calm, which you get from Year 8 Season 2's Battle Pass. So you want Masterful Calm. It creates a good contrast with brown, silver, and white, which I think looks very good for this wolf sort of inspired hero. I almost get the feeling like Gudbrand wants to identify himself more as a bear than he does as a wolf, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. For his feats, I gave him Deadly, Flesh Wound, Tough as Nails, and Regenerate. All of these are passive, and the reason I did it is because as a werewolf, he's going to be incredibly tough, incredibly hard to kill, very dangerous, and outside of battle, especially under a full moon, he's going to be gaining back his health. So I thought all those worked. For executions, we gave him with my bare hands, Ulfander Killer, Attitude Adjuster, and Cumbered Bash. Now, I understand that with my bare hands and Ulfander Killer are both limited time. Some of you might not have gotten access to those. Don't worry, you can use others. You can use the Back Slammer for one, and you can use, where was it? Here it is, nailed down. What you really want, what the kind of executions you want to get are the kind of executions that show a lot of force, power, and fury. I chose with my bare hands because it's like he's going wolf mode and he's tearing you apart. And Ulfander Killer because he's used to fighting and killing werewolves, so he would know how to deal with them. Attitude Adjuster and Cumbered Bash show a lot of power, but I especially like Cumbered Bash because there's power, but there's also control, which is key to him. He's all about that control and controlling himself. For emotes, I use Thunderclap and Sup. And I use Bang Your Drum. And Why Me? The Why Me one fits because it's like he's howling at the moon. Bang Your Drum, Thunderclap, they both feel like a beast trying to get out of control. And Sup, just a challenge. Now for signature, Strength of the Bear. And effects, Lycanthrope for everything. Now, some of you might be saying the signature, wasn't there a signature where you could look like a werewolf? Yes, there was. I didn't get it, so I don't have it. If you have it for Warlord, use that instead. But that is Gudbrand the Fang, the other member of the Order of the Silver Cross. So let me know what you guys think of him. Let me know if you're going to try to build him. Let me know. Would love to hear that. So with all that out of the way, let's move on to the next one. This is our next member. This is Aratama Shutenmaru the Oni. Aratama Shutenmaru. So, Aratama Shutenmaru was not a human who became a monster. He was a yokai. Aratama Shutenmaru is an Oni, a very, very powerful Oni. And let me tell you something about Shutenmaru. He wants to prove he's the best. He wants to prove that he's the strongest monster out there. So he joined the Order of the Silver Cross, not because he's like, I want to protect people, I want to help people, I want to do what's right. No, he's doing it because there are a lot of monsters out there and he wants to show them he's the toughest dude around. And being part of the Order of the Silver Cross allows him to find these monsters and really test himself. He's kind of like Alucard from Hellsing, where it's like he knows he's the baddest boy in town and he's going to use that power to do what he needs to do to take on people. But he also knows better than to piss off Rachel or Mara, because at the end of the day, they're angels and they do outrank him. So I thought this would be a cool one to add. So let's talk about Aratama Shutenmaru. Honestly, he's super easy to build. You need the Magen Helm, Magen Chest, and Magen Alternate Arms. Like, this is his default set. If you've just picked up Sohei, you can get this. So Magen Helm, Magen Chest, and Magen Alternate Arms. Super easy to build. That demon look is just perfect for what we're going for. For the weapon, you want the Soul Seeker head, the Crimson Beast shaft, and the Soul Seeker hilt. We changed the shaft. It's Crimson Beast shaft. I think the red complements it very well. So again, one more time on that. The Soul Seeker head, Crimson Beast shaft, Soul Seeker hilt. Okay? Okay. So you know how to make him look like this. For the traits, default 1, skin color is going to be default. You know, it's just going to be a default look here. For the chest, paint pattern is Archways 2, which you get from Reputation 1 level 4. No symbol, but the embossing is Oni 2, which you get from Reputation 13 level 20. So you will need to work with them a little bit, but don't worry, if you haven't gotten there yet, you don't need an embossing. It'll be fine. I just added that because it again shows that Oni working its way out of him. For the ornament, I use the Flaming Dragon ornament. The Flaming Dragon ornament. It's simple, but it looks nice, doesn't it? All right. For the right arm, you want the Horkos Illusionist 1 paint pattern, which you get from the Year 5 Season 1 Battle Pass or from the Premium Pass. So if you've been playing For Honor recently, you should have gotten access to this, okay? You should have access to this paint pattern by now. So Horkos Illusionist 1 paint pattern. And for the symbol, Demon 6 symbol from the Kimon Guardian Illustrious outfit. It just looks so solid, it's hard to beat, okay? Okay. For the left arm, you want the Horkos Illusionist 1 paint pattern again, but for the symbol, you want the Stupefy 3 symbol, which you get from Mesmerizing Moth Elite outfit. So you do need the Mesmerizing Moth Elite outfit for this, the Stupefy 3 Stupefy 3 symbol. And the reason I chose that one is it looks like a demon symbol, like a summoning symbol, something to keep him in line. Like maybe Rachel put that on him or Mara put that on him to keep him under control so he doesn't kill innocents. So that's why he's always looking at his arm like, man, this thing's holding me back. So something I thought about. For the material, you want black iron. Black iron's going to stick out very, very well with this, so I went with just plain old black iron. For the standards, Archways 2 again, which you get at Reputation 1 level 4. And the symbol, Stupefy 1 from the Mesmerizing Moth Elite outfit. Again, kind of this thing keeping him under control, right? Right, okay. For the legs, I gave him the meniscus paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 10. No symbol, no embossing, just meniscus. So make sure you have that. And then for the color scheme, ready? The color scheme is Enthralled Heliotrope from the Mesmerizing Moth Elite outfit. So all you need is the Mesmerizing Moth Elite outfit, and you can get this really nice purple color scheme. Now, with that out of the way, the rest. Feats. Use all of Sohei's default feats because this guy's a demon and he's going to rely on using his soul power to kill his enemies. So that's pretty easy. For the executions, the Throat Tickler. No enemies. Tsukiyari. And Mercy Kill. So Mercy Kill and Tsukiyari are both very power play, basically showing how powerful he is and how dangerous he is. No enemies is like he's taunting his opponent to try to kill him, but you can't kill an Oni like that, so he's going to tear you apart. And then the Throat Tickler, just a very quick execution to deal with someone he just wants to be over and done with. I also thought about giving him Horko's Puppeteer to show him playing with a soul. I also thought about that too. So you could definitely go with that if you wanted. For emotes, Eyes on the Enemy, and I Challenge You. And then for free roam, A Worthy Opponent. And Face Your Demons. So basically all of these are going to be really hardcore, basically him taunting and flexing at his opponent to basically challenge him into fighting. I would also trade out, I'll be honest, I would also trade out I Challenge You with What You're Going to Do, because take a look at this. That laugh in the background, that demonic laugh looks really good, but you could go either way, honestly. For signature, Overdramatic Gesture. I just thought this was funny. I thought that'd be a very funny one. Like he's drawing in this power and he's just going, what are you gonna do? You know, that kind of thing. For effects, you want Soul Eater on everything. Pretty much Soul Eater on everything. Just Soul Eater, Soul Eater, Soul Eater. And no, I don't mean Soul Eater the anime. That is one crazy anime, though. Check it out sometime if you want to have a field trip. But you want that effect. And that is how you build Shutenmaru. So, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think about Shutenmaru. Let me know if you guys are going to try to build him. You Sohei players out there. Pretty easy to build him, too. Pretty easy to build him. All right, so the last one. Yes, we've got one more to go. The last one, and you've seen me play him a few times now. Say hello to Kaichutu, the vampire Shaolin. Yes, he is a vampire-themed Shaolin. So the story behind this guy is that he is a monk who was turned into a vampire. Now, whether he was bitten or whether it was some kind of result of the opening of the rift to the other world, we don't know. But he's become a vampire. But he's using his monk training to control his thirst. He basically has a small tankard of blood with him that he drinks from in moderation. And he only drinks when he absolutely has to, but he's trying to teach himself not to rely on blood. In fact, he wears the mask to keep his fangs hidden and to keep himself from being tempted to bite. So he is very desperately trying to control his bloodlust. He wears that silver ornament on his head, basically as a reminder of his penance to keep himself under control. And he has sworn to take his own life by standing in the sun if he ever does take a life. But he will use his vampiric abilities and his monk training to control himself and to fight the monsters that exist. So, a pretty cool character. I'll teach you how to build him now. You need the Taifeng helm, the Liliang chest, and the Kaihua arm. So let's go through that again. Taifeng helm, Liliang chest, Kaihua arms. Okay? Looks pretty solid, right? Next up, you need the famous Yongshi shaft, Guanyin top, and Guanyin bottom. I thought the Guanyin set looked good because it's a tie-in to the original religion of the monks, you know, the whole Buddhist or Buddhist or Taoist belief system. So I thought that would be a good callback, but either way it works. So I thought that this was just an overall very solid look. For the traits, okay, default 1, skin color. I went with the lighter skin color because we're going with a vampire here. He's going to be of more pale complexion. For the chest, I went with the Luxury 3 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 9 level 6. So Luxury 3 paint pattern. No symbol, no embossing, okay? Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice and clean? For the ornament, the Ecliptic Memento, which you get from Battle of the Eclipse event pass. So you should have this, I would hope. If you don't, you can trade it out for Radiant Seal. That's another good one you can use. Or Gaule's Keepsake. So all three of these should work well for you. The only other one I can think of is Apotropic Charm. But at the end of the day, you need one of these, guys. Come on. Have one of these on your Shaolin. Okay. Right arm. Nothing, nothing, nothing. We're not adding anything. For the left arm, nothing, nothing, nothing. We're not adding anything. It looks simple. It looks basic, but I like it that way. For the paint pattern, we want the... Hold on. Sorry. My screen went fuzzy on my end for a second. I hope you guys can still see. Are we still good? Okay, there it goes. All right. So we want black iron, but we do have 3 overrides. The head will be silver. The arms and legs will be cinnabar. Follow me on that? Arms and legs are cinnabar. Head is silver, but black iron for the rest. So the chest and back will be black iron. Sorry, I don't know why my screen on my end went weird. I don't know if it went weird for you guys, but it just went odd for me. I think it's fixed now. But anyway, okay, so back to what we were doing. For the back, you want the Canopy 1 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 4, level 9. Canopy 1 paint pattern, okay? No symbol, no embossing. Just make it look nice and clean. For the legs, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. Again, keep it simple. Keep it safe, as Gandalf would say. So we've got our look. Now for the color scheme, you want Assassin's Creed, Father of Understanding. I'll be honest, it's just the best you're going to get. It's just the best you're going to get. And I pray you have this one. I pray you have this one. Okay? All right. So moving on for the feats. Stealth. He's a vampire. He's good at sneaking. Thick skin. It's hard to kill a vampire. Nukekubi. He's all about getting that stamina back when he drains some blood. And Blessed Projection. I like to think he turns into a bat and flies across the battlefield. Am I right? I'm right. Okay. Executions. We've got Revenant Slayer. I imagine he'd be very good at killing vampires. And also that weapon he's using to do it could be what he's sworn to use on himself, you know? It's kind of like I'm going to use this weapon to kill me if it ever comes to it. Cartwheel. Flair and Finesse. Just show that awesome superhuman strength. And Maximum Shaolin. My thought here was if you put the bat effect on this, we haven't gotten to the effects yet, but if you put the bat effect on that, it's almost like each bat is like quickly striking him. Like each bat is hitting him, like turning into him and then hitting him, which I think is just kind of badass or bat ass. I'm terrible. So I thought that'd be cool. For emotes, Zuduo Hao, Manzo, showing that respect both times over. Free Roam, Respite. And Selfish Drinker. I use Selfish Drinker because I imagine that's his canteen of blood, and he's like, I need a drink. Hold on, I need a drink, guys. No, it's blood. I need this, sorry. You know, that kind of thing. Signatures. Dark Specters. He is still a vampire. I mean, he's still kind of a monster, so keep that in mind. For effects, I use Shadow Cult for Idol. Bats for all of his other executions. For Free Roam, Shadow Cult on both, and Combat Shadow Cult on both. Now, some of you are probably thinking, hold on, Raven, isn't there a specific vampire effect? There is. Let me pull it up real quick. It's called Ghoulish Insight, and it turns your face into sort of a Nosferatu thing. I thought about using this, but the way I see it, he would only activate this if he's fully lost control. Like he's fully become a vampire, and he's never going to let himself get to that point. So I didn't want to use Ghoulish Insight. It just didn't feel right to use it. Okay? Okay. So that does it for Kai. That's his shortened name. His full name is Kai Juetu, but I call him Kai for short. So what do you guys think? Do you like him? Do you think that he's a good character? Will you try to build him yourself? Let me know. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are all of the major members of the Order of the Silver Cross. Now, you might be wondering, won't other characters join? Like maybe Ryo could join, or maybe Kawakami Hayate could join, or maybe there could be other characters to join, and maybe there will be. Maybe there will be other characters. I get asked all the time, will I add more characters to these groups that I've created? Maybe I will. Maybe I will end up adding more characters to these groups. But for now, this is what I've built. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.